Yeah, I know there were people, but I am going to start because even though they'll trickle in, and there's a few things to get through, and I'm really appreciative of the fact that you're all here because I know it's a Friday afternoon and it's late. It's our latest ever, I think, we've ever finished. So I'd like to wrap up a little bit our Helsinki experience, our Helsinki journey. And give you some insights and just some thoughts and a little bit of feedback about it, of course. And then we'll move on to a couple of different announcements about where we're going. Some you know and some you don't. So, first of all, of course, I remind you that we have been hosted and sponsored by an amazing group of organisations, and I can't thank them enough. I think from a logistics perspective, it was amazing and perfect, and I remind us also that we are in an institutional, we often go to hotels, and I like very much the fact that we come to a university or we come to an institute. I know it's not always possible to host our meetings there, but it sort of has a nice feeling. So I am very appreciative to Aalto University, but we'll come back to them in a moment, but the other organisations who supported us wonderfully for the last year and a half, and also to our sponsors. Again, the organising committee, I won't name them all, and there are 2 slides, but they really pulled all the stops out. They are responsible for the music, they're responsible for the food, for the badges, for the logistics, for everything, and they have been absolutely amazing, and I'm really, really grateful to the 14 of you, I think. So thank you so much. And then, of course, I can't say it enough. My wonderful secretariat, it's been a really long few months for them. We're about to start our journey towards Australia and beyond. And we are down a few people at the moment, but they, as I said, they work above and beyond their line of duty from all over the world at different times. And I'm so fortunate to have such a highly qualified, by the way, and diligent team. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. I know some of you, hopefully, many of you are still here, but anyway, so thank you, okay? And of course, the programme committee, you saw some of them last night dancing or giving awards or, over the last couple of days. They put together a super programme. I really loved the plenary sessions. The Data's a Game Changer yesterday was wonderful, but they've worked really hard and we've met quite a lot virtually over the last year and a half, and have done an amazing job. And it's so nice because when you work inside RDA, we know the kind of things that we need to do, and sometimes it's hard for the hosts to get into that, but we didn't have that problem at all here. It was really teamwork, and they understood the concept and really got a wonderful program together. So thank you to all of you. 7 are there. Right, but I did want to say a special thank you, and I didn't manage to get a picture of anyone with the yellow t-shirts, but Aalto University and their volunteers and all the things that they gave us, they have been wonderful. So a special shout out and kiitos to our Aalto University, our hosts, where we have invaded the students and the professors' privacy for the last 5 days. Okay, so thank you, Aalto. Okay, a few quick little business updates. We have, as you know, Technical Advisory Board, a group of volunteers, elected members from all over the world. We have some changes coming up now that I'd like to highlight to you. So the first is one of our longest serving members of TAB and also co-chair, Françoise Genova, is stepping down. Her term finishes, so she finishes as co-chair now. But I would like to thank Françoise, she's there, very much, for she is one of the queens of RDA, if I may say that. And we're going to miss you, Françoise, because she's on council with me, and I'm really grateful to you for that. So sorry for the emotion, but Françoise has been a bit of a mentor for me, so thank you. Paul Euler has also been on tab, and he's stepping down as co-chair as well. So we lose both of our co-chairs now. Paul will no longer serve, so we thank you, Paul, for your service. I'm not sure, I can't see you, so I don't know if you're still here. Perhaps not. He was here for a couple of days, but Paul has also been fundamental. And, you know, being a co-chair of tab is not an easy task. It's a lot of work, and already, as I said, they're a volunteer group. So thank you, Paul, and we will miss you too. So I shed a little tear for that. So, obviously, what does that mean? You know, we have elections going on now. It means that TAB has no co-chairs. We need to provide continuation in TAB. It's a very special distributed board. And when, in June, we understood that Paul would no longer be standing, TAB and Council had interacted about this, and a sort of special ad interim decision was made that we would ask if one of the existing TAB members would be willing to take on the role for interim co-chair for 1 year to segue and transition into some new co-chairs. So I am very grateful and delighted and to Andrew Trelaw, who has accepted to take this on. And so Andrew will take over a co-chair role for the next year, from now until this time next year, and will support in helping and, how would you say, mentoring the new member of, all the new members of TAB, because we have 5 coming in now. And of course, we will have a new co-chair who will be decided upon by the new technical advisory board when the election is complete. Okay, and then we will announce who that will be. So, in fact, a reminder, you have 8 wonderful candidates standing for election now. Please vote. You need to log in, click on the link from the homepage, and vote on the members. There are 5 seats available. There are different geographical, domain and gender balances to try and work out. But we have a wonderful cohort of candidates who want to stand up and work for you, free of, you know, and give their time. So please think about it. We really need your votes. I think it's open for the next 2 weeks until the 6th of November. Okay? Okay, so just a couple of things about the conference. As you know, we tried we feel that RDA has a strong contribution to give to the Sustainable Development Goals. We did the experiment this afternoon with the adoption session, not just for the Sustainable Development Goals, but also around domains and themes. I've obviously been given already some hot off the press feedback. We will ask you, please, to take a little moment and fill out the evaluation form, or at least send an email and tell us about it. It was an experiment. I've had very positive feedback, but I do need to consider if we are able to continue in this, to do it this way, and possibly organise it and structure it and invest more time from the Secretariat. So in order to do that, I need people's feedback to tell us whether it was a good experiment or if there are other ideas, okay? So please do get back to us on that. I would have to thank the Unconference team. These are all the wonderful people who remotely and physically were here and put together the Unconference in quite a short time, I have to say. Again, the Unconference was a once-off experiment that we now need to evaluate and understand if it was a component to the plenaries that you as the community would like to see going forward, if you have other structure or ideas or ways in which we might do that. Obviously, 3 days is a long time, and a big investment from you, but also from us. So if we would like to do this again, first of all, you have to know that when I invite and ask plenary hosts to do it, we need to tell them in advance what they're actually bidding for, and at the moment the Unconference is not a feature or a component. But the feedback was very good, as far as I understand. So this is the word cloud that covers a lot of the words and the activities that came out. There will be a report and some feedback, so people who didn't get an opportunity to attend can, have a look and see. Um, the feedback for the 55 people who actually stayed for most of the conference, the unconference, was very good, considering that dinner was far away. They enjoyed the unconference, it would seem. They found it interactive and, things like that, so that's important. Everybody thought that we should do it again. I'm actually a big fan of the idea of an unconference. I think it's the one way we can really allow new people who come in, but others to have a face-to-face moment to say, yeah, this is what we should talk about. Otherwise, it's all done through, email and that. Why don't we use the time and the moment that we're all here? But as I said, I need you to tell me if you think that that's a good idea. Then there were some, other things. But yes, they liked it. We should get more people. We obviously needed to plan it and maybe inform about it more in advance and things like that. But we will take on board the feedback that we received from these people. But also any of you who maybe weren't there but would like to express an interest, please do it in the feedback form, okay? Just my last two slides are about who was here. So I'm told that 60 people got lost between the dinner last night and today, but there are 571. Someone said 6:30 last night. Clearly a huge European participation, and that, by the way, for those of you who's your first plenary, is quite normal that obviously the region that we're in will be the most, the people who attend. That's why we move around the globe, so that we can allow people to come to the plenaries and have new people coming in. So, this is some of the social media. So, of course, a lot of hashtagging and tweeting and good numbers, and I think we're happy with a lot of we have actually 50 plus new members just in the last 4 days, which is interesting. So people who signed up maybe because they weren't here. You had to be a member to be here, so it means that they were people from the outside who we feel may have indirectly been interested and attracted by RDA. So and that's it. It's, as I say, that's a wrap for P14. As you see, some of the wonderful images that there are. And of course, it's now time to talk about where we're going to go next. As you know, this is POSI. POSI is from the POSI Supercomputing Centre. Clearly, she is a representative of where we are next. And I would ask my Australian colleagues to come and tell us where we are going and what's going to happen in Melbourne. It's a bit slow, isn't it? There we go. So, yes, the official Olympic torch of the RDA will be passed now to my esteemed Australian colleagues, who will let you know what's going to happen and try and tempt you to come and see POSI. Do you want the microphone? Okay.
So, thinking things on the fly. Before we start our presentation, we have a gift for the organising committee for this event. So how many people from the organising committee are here? Okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So maybe if the organising committee could come here. So you get to adopt kangaroo.
So, thank you so much. It was just a fantastic conference, and what a beautiful city that you have. I've been really entertained here as well. So, CSIRO is the host organisation for the next plenary, and CSIRO stands for the Commonwealth Scientific Industrial Research Organisation. I've only been there 28 years. Yeah. We call it CSIRO, yes. It is the largest government research organisation in Australia, and as you can see from that, I'm not going to read it out to you, we cover most areas of science, but medical research not. The choice of us for a host is actually really appropriate, given that the theme for our conference at the plenary next is research data for real-world impact. And our mission in CSIRO is solving the greatest challenges through innovative science and technology. And we have those areas there, the 6 ones. So it's resilient, valuable environments, food security and quality, health well-being, future industries, sustainable energy and resources, and a secure Australia and region. One of the things I should warn you about when you come to Australia is that biosecurity is very important to us. We no longer spray you as you come through the aeroplane, but you do have to be careful about what you bring in. These 6 areas that we're working on are actually accelerated by 4 key strategic project areas. One is missions, and we're in the process at the moment in the organisation of having our research groups pitch for the research projects that will meet those 6 areas. We also have our chief scientist developing a decadal science plan. We have a digital academy, which is improving the digital literacy, talent management, and competencies of our staff in CSIRO, and one that I'm heavily involved in, and John is as well, which is the managed data ecosystem. As we like to say, we have a data ecosystem, now we want to manage it. And that's what we'll be doing, and that will feed into the next plenary as well. I'll now hand over to Andrew, who is going to take us to the next part.
Thank you, Cynthia. So, CSIRO is the host organisation. The organisation I work for, the Australian Research Data Commons, is delighted to be helping CSIRO to deliver this event. So the ARDC has been involved in the Research Data Alliance in Australia for a very long time, and we see the RDA as being central to a lot of the things we're doing. This is the diagram that describes our current strategic plans. So we have programs of work around data and services, around storage and compute, around people and policy, around software and platforms, and tying it all together, a theme around coordination and coherence. And there are activities in RDA that relate to all of those. So we see RDA as being very much relevant to the work of our organisation. That's one of many reasons why we're very excited to be involved in this plenary. So the Research Data Alliance, Australia was one of the founding partners, and we have a significant amount of activity ongoing. We have adopted a range of RDA outputs. The 23 Research Data Things was one of the most successful programs we've run. We have quite good representation of individual membership and co-chairs. We have a member on council, we have 2 members on tab, we have 2 organisations that are members of the Organisational Assembly, and we have a number of communities of practice that are feeding into RDA activities. So for us, RDA is a really core part of how we deliver on what we're doing. I should say, before I hand over to John, that we have, and this is something that people need to be aware of, we've been thinking through the schedule for the call for sessions for the next plenary. The reason we're putting this up on the slide is that the call for sessions for the next plenary, yes, I know this one hasn't even finished, the call for sessions for the next one is open now. And the reason that it's open now is that this plenary is a little bit later than normal, and the one in Melbourne is a little bit earlier than normal, and that just means the time available is squished. So those of you who are co-chairs who had a wonderful time in Helsinki, you have the weekend off to go home and recover, and then we want to see those proposals coming in for Melbourne. It's not quite that bad. You have until the end of November, but start thinking about it now. And because we know you want to organise your travel plans, we will be working over our summer holidays in January to make sure that we can get the acceptances in before Christmas and that the program will be published by late January. So the plan is that before the end of this year, people will know whether their proposals have been accepted. John. So, not just one conference, you get 2 conferences when you come.
That's right. You have the opportunity of joining in and participating in what's called C3DIS, colloquially, the Collaborative Conference on Computational and Data-Intensive Science. So this is basically the researchers and scientists in the government agencies, publicly funded research agencies in Australia. CSIRO, the Bureau of Meteorology, Geosciences Australia, and what's the next one?
Bureau of Meteorology?
No, I've said them. Anyway, there's 4. No, don't worry. Don't worry, it was standing up on stage. Stage fright.
So you've forgotten it?
No, see, yeah, I won't admit to it. Okay.
And it's failed.
Yes. Well, of course, these folks here won't know. The important point is that yes, it's our friends in DST. Thank you. Thank you. And goodness knows. And in fact, what those people are going to be talking about are, there's going to be 2 days of conference and 2 days of workshops. And DSTG, for example, our Defence Science Technology, sorry, they're not the group anymore, are they? They've relabeled themselves. The defence folks are going to be running some workshops on design of experiments. So this is heavily involved in machine learning techniques and designing experiments for adapting to those. But there are 2 sets of workshops, technical workshops, that train people up in machine learning and Python and all the other toolkit things that researchers need in the digital age. So there is going to be, as I said, 2 days of conference, 2 days of workshops, and there is a joint plenary planned, basically a keynote plenary. So roughly, this is very provisional, and I think I won't forget things here. This is the sort of schedule, and importantly, the joint keynotes sessions are on the Wednesday. So the idea is that 2 groups of people, the Research Data Alliance people and the scientists and researchers, will be attending these joint keynotes. The intention is to basically facilitate the intermingling of people. So you've got the practitioners and the practitioners of data management and data and so on. So you've basically got both sides of the fence coming together over those several days. It's actually an interesting opportunity. I really think that it will be exciting to see what happens with this. So you can see that there's some overlap. The intention is, again, during the keynote, that's the main focus of the overlap, but as far as the other aspects, there'll be joint morning and afternoon tea breaks. Do we do tea breaks or coffee breaks? Anyway, not important. So you'll be able to swap stories with practitioners in both senses. So, Cynthia, would you want to do this? But I can't do this. I'm from Sydney.
There's a rivalry between Sydney and Melbourne. They just can't cope with the fact that Melbourne's so much nicer. Now, how do we do it? Well, actually, originally we're both... Did you put the slider? Where is it?
They checked it worked.
Sydney.
So no, I reckon the issue is that... Just a few technical hitches. It's thinking.
Here we go. What?
Full screen?
Yep. Couldn't make it. Thank you.
This is why you should come to Melbourne.
Hit the space bar. Or hit the space bar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We were just wondering, was that gentleman part of the whole package? Or was it, you know, some of us up in the front there? Okay, so you knew about Melbourne, didn't you? You knew about Melbourne. I might just close that down and get out of the screen. But you don't know, not yet, you don't know where we're going after that, do you? So maybe I could ask the people who are going to enlighten us as to where we might be going to come up on the stage. So I ask my two, could I call you the directors of the Research Data Alliance in North America? Leslie McIntosh-Borelli as the Executive Director of RDA in the US and North America, and Mark Leggett from the Executive Director of the Research Data Canada. So now they might enlighten you as to what does that mean.
Thank you so much, Hilary. And I'd like to add that we are missing one person in our motley crew and our trifecta, and that's Marcela Alfaro, who was not able to make it to Helsinki. So just picture her up here as well. So first of all, we're going to go over a little geography because everybody in here generally needs it. This is the continent of North Americas. But there's a physical geography and there's, of course, a political geography. And so when we were what we decided as we're looking at these regions, that we would come together as a region. And of course, there's a little debate in the regions, and what we have agreed upon is it's the region of North Americas, plural, but it also stands for RNA, or it's the, so you know, we're part of the DNA of RDA, there we go. And I just have to say, this has been wonderful. It's also very tiring, so I'm so excited that Mark and Canada has agreed to do the next plenary.
No. And for those of you that don't know geography, that's the white thing at the top is Canada. But I've been hearing, because I think I'm out of the loop here, because I've been hearing that it's Chile and
Okay,
Argentina
Chile.
and
Wait, geography.
Oh.
Let's go back. See, I may be from the United States, but I actually know that those are in South America, not the North America.
Oh, I don't do very good with geography.
Oh, no, I know you are.
So I'm out of the loop. I have no idea.
All right. So, I don't know, let's see a video and let's see if we can figure out where on the continent this might be. Okay, as long as it plays. Otherwise, just guess from here, right? It gave away, sorry. You get to know. For those.
Someone defines themselves when they reconnect with their spirit, their true essence, the nature that shapes who you are. Who am I? I am an alluring concentration of beauty, rainforests, beaches, and biodiversity. I live in the heart of the Americas, guarded by two seas. I am the deep green that entices those seeking relaxation and adventure. And I am so much more. In my essence live the warmth and authenticity of my people. People with open arms who look forward towards the future and welcome opportunities. I am a unique, happy, and caring nation that expresses itself through the diversity of its cultures. I am cradle of human talent, proud people who embrace challenges. I am a nation governed in peace with a solid, long-standing democracy. I stand behind health, education, and the pursuit of self-development as the cornerstones of happiness. In my essence lie the preservation and care for the environment, a model to the world. I breathe the riches of my land, and I recognize the wit of my people, ever capable of giving more than expected. I am a trustworthy and reliable nation, distinguished by the value of what I create. Human development innovation, and a proven international competitiveness set me apart and enable me to export quality to the world. Those who come to know me are surprised, amazed. My greatest aspirations can be found in my concentrated essence. I am a country that attracts those who seek the value of excellence and the commitment to sustainability. I have much to offer those wishing to purchase, invest, produce, and develop. I have the required human and technological capabilities to achieve this. I rediscover myself by searching within. I find myself in what is vital, in what is true. I rediscover what is important. I am green. I am happiness. I am solidarity. I am talent. I am innovation. I am quality. I am diversity. I am concentration. I am essential Costa Rica.
Oh, wait. I know, right? That's the problem. Okay, back to... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, sorry. There we go. So, we want to welcome you to Costa Rica. And I'm really speaking for Marcela because I must admit that it is really organized by CONARI. Which is kind of funny because the organization Mark works with in Canada is Canary, and then there's CONARI in Costa Rica, and then there's us, the US, in between. So, of this. So a couple of things. The schedule is going to actually look similar to the one here, maybe a little bit different than the one in Melbourne, but it's planning on to be similar to here. There are 5 public universities in San Jose, Costa Rica. They have all gathered together, thanks to Marcela, to come together to support RDA because they are very committed to bringing research data management to Costa Rica. They're also having an RDA co-data data school this in December, so they're very committed to this effort. Yes. The co-located events will be at the different universities while we will have a venue for the plenary. The venue, we have a hotel, but we're also looking at their event center as well, so we'll announce that as soon as that comes out. But it is a carbon neutral country. It, as you could see from the video, is very much for the environment, and they're very excited, and we are very excited to bring this to our region and bring Plenary 16 there. Thank you.
Wow, there you go. San Jose, Costa Rica. We get a little sombrero for Posey. Right, so it's not actually finished because somebody said to us a couple of years ago, not so long ago, you know what? God, you could really plan these a bit further and then we'd know where to go and we could do the save the dates. So we know about 15. We even know the program. 16, you know where and you know when. I see we don't have dates there, but we know it's November. So where after that? Yeah, we do a sort of, we move around the world a bit. Okay, well, I'm going to ask one of my secretariat members to come up and give us some insights into where we might go the next time. And that'd be, oh, good. Oh, that's right, Alex. Where's your man with this? Okay, so Alex is from the Digital Curation Centre, and she's also one of our plenary coordinators together with Yolanda. So I have 2 plenary queens, I'm lucky, and she will tell us about the next one. Off you go.
Hi, so this is the first clue. After last night at the fantastic conference dinner, we found out that the RDA community has some excellent dancers. So we thought we would, well, the standards are pretty high, so we thought we would rise up to the challenge, and P17 will have to feature a Kaylee. So I'm going to...
I think the video is not going to come up, so we're going to have to describe the place to you and send you the link. We'll tweet the link. Sorry? Shall we do? So we'll demonstrate Kaylee.
You have to do a Kaylee.
Stand over here.
That will be
so
a first
Kaylee,
one.
It's kind of like a barn dance or a line dance. So there's lots of different ones. Oh, you maybe need the microphone. There's lots of different ones. There's a dashing white sergeant. There's lots of ones. Essentially, we'll do a very quick demonstration. You link arms, you spin round. You go the other way. And it's a fantastic way of making new friends, and we all know the RDA plenary is a great way to make new friends. So, the slide is up here. Join us in April 2021 in Edinburgh, the home of the DCC, where you'll find Alex and me.
Indeed, and so JISC, UK RISE TFC, and ourselves, the Digital Curation Centre, are very excited to bring the RDA community to the UK and to Edinburgh. The host organizations have a very long track record of involvement in RDA, with involvement in council and the organizational advisory board. And we are very excited. Save the date, April 2021. We will see you in Edinburgh, and hopefully we'll get a video at some point to you.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think that was so much better than a video. We got a live demo of what it's going to be. Yeah. So that's it. So now you know. We are in Melbourne in March next year, November 2020 in San Jose, Costa Rica, Edinburgh in April 2021. And on Monday, we will close the applications and the bids for International Data Week 2021, when we meet with our friends and close colleagues from CoData and the World Data System, with whom we've already organised 2 very successful events, and we're going to do 2 more editions, one in 2021 and one in 2023. We have a series of countries and regions bidding, and we will make an assessment, and as soon as we have made a selection together with CoData, and Rory's there from WDS, and Simon is not with us at this conference, he's in Africa, we will let you know. So you can put on the calendar November or October, or whatever it will be, 2021. Okay, that's it. Safe home, safe travels, have a nice weekend, and thank you so much.